Going to 7.2. It's a public hearing. We consider adopting ordinance number 26-02, approving the request of the Granbury Reddy Land Partners petition for a voluntary annexation of 2,090 acres of the Milam County School Land Survey Lower League, Milam County School Land Survey Upper League. John David Crowe, Survey Abstract number 110, Ebenezer Milliken, Survey Abstract number 114, J.W. Owensby, Survey Abstract number 814, G.W. Williams, Survey Abstract number 600, Jose Maybarbo, Survey Abstract number 749, the C.C. Harvick, Survey Abstract number 290, E.T. Gatlin, Survey Abstract number 211, J.W. Dawson, Survey number 805, J.H. Davis, Survey Abstract number 157, and E. Hammock, Survey Abstract number 650, Hood County, and all of Scottish Rite Village, Unit 1, Tract 1, Hood County, Texas, per petition for voluntary annexation in the city of Granbury, Texas, Hood County, Texas. The property is located at 2801 West Highway 377. All of that is read to you because it is the requirement that I read every bit of that. So with that, Mr. Kaufman, I'll open to you.
I'd like to ask Jeremy Sorrell, our city attorney, to review a little bit before we start this agenda as to administratively complete process.
Thank you, Chris, Mayor. As you're aware, we received a petition for annexation from... Can you hear me?
There you go.
Okay, Council, as you're aware, we received a petition for annexation. Once received, city staff reviews the petition. We ensure that it's complied with Chapter 43 of the Texas Local Government Code regarding voluntary annexation. In doing such, there are certain legal requirements for postings in the newspaper, postings on our website, 20-day periods. There are 10-day periods set out as well. All of these were complied with, newspaper notices, etc. We're all done, and then we have a time period for which we must hold a public hearing, which we are within that time period, and why we are here tonight holding a public hearing. As you guys are aware, back in 2019, the Texas legislature repealed city's authority to involuntarily annex properties into the city limits that are inside the ETJ. What that did is it kind of created an area around cities that there was no control of. So anytime we receive a petition for annexation, we ensure, number one, legal compliance with Chapter 43, that is, it is actually able to be annexed into the city. And then after that, we look at how will it affect the growth of the city, and is it in the best interest of the citizens to take property into the city. And in this case, as well as items 7.3 and 7.4, which are also voluntary annexations, we look at those pieces of property and we see, the potential of what could or could not be built there. And when we think about the best interests of the citizens, we think, we have these sizable pieces of property that we want to bring before council to consider accepting the petitions for voluntary annexation, because that, in effect, does something pretty substantial in that it allows the city, once this property is annexed in, to enforce higher levels of building codes and standards that the county doesn't have authority to do. So we are able to do things like plan developments and review plats and different types of things, whatever may be developed there, at higher standards and ensure higher quality. So being these three properties in their locations, we thought they pretty significant that you should consider accepting the petition so that we could have some controls that we do not have and that the county doesn't have the authority to enact, to ensure that whatever goes in there, whatever sorts of developments on these three voluntary annexations are of quality. As well, there's always the financial aspect of these things. Due to the inability to involuntarily annex, our city limits are not going to grow unless someone comes and says, I want to voluntarily annex into the city. Now, that not only increases the size of the city, but it also allows for less of a burden on the taxpayers. We all know that we're going to need to continue with infrastructure upgrades, and we're going to have to redo our roads, and there are all these things, and the prices go up every year. And if you have just a small pot of people, those people are paying a share, and that share keeps going up. So if we have the opportunity to bring other property in and develop that, whatever that development may be, we certainly want to take all of those things into consideration and bring those in on those petitions. I understand there's been a lot of speculation as to what may or may not go at that property, but what I can tell you, the council, and the public is that there is absolutely no application for any development received by the city as to that property. The only thing that's ever been filed is a petition for voluntary annexation, and at some point, when that individual chooses to develop that property, they will come to the city and they will say, this is what we anticipate we would like to do. Here, city, you look at it and let's work through this. And whether that be 5,000 homes or some sort of commercial industry in support of our ever-expanding airport, or, as I've heard, data centers, that will be looked at that time. For today, you need to consider the best interests of growing the city, being able to control our corridors in and out, and having some sort of controls that the county is not afforded legislatively, so that we can assure whatever goes in there is for the best interests of the community.
Thank you, Jeremy. At this time, I'll turn over the next 3 agenda items to our Community Development Director, Kira Walby.
Okay. So this is the site location. It's, as stated, approximately 2,090 acres located towards the west of town between Biloxi Road and the West 377 Highway, and on both sides of Meadow Drive. In our staff report, we report out the situation of the location of the site, as well as a summary statement of the infrastructure in the area. And staff is recommending approval of the voluntary request. Thank you.
Thank you, Kira. Council, if you'll have any questions, we'd be happy to answer them.
Council? Questions? Okay. I'm going to go ahead and open the public hearing then. And I have a number of people that have asked to speak on this. And so I'm going to call out 2 names at a time, because there are people downstairs, and I understand that we're on about a 30-second lag to get the message downstairs. But if we could have Mr. and Mrs. Chris Paulson. Okay, it is Chris Paulson, yeah. Okay.
First of all, thank you.
If you would give us, okay, thank you.
If you could punch the red button.
Okay.
Thank you.
Chris Paulson, 37-66 County Road, 2008, Glen Rose, Texas. I'm a rancher. I've been in the utility industry 32 years on the production end, both in nuclear, fossil, and gas plants. My biggest concern is on annexation. If you end up with something that is either a power plant or a data center, is water usage. It's going to be the most critical thing in Texas this century is water. And I know that for a fact Upper Trinity has seen water levels go down. I am seeing the same thing in Bluebonnet. I'm seeing the same thing in Somerville County. I work with Kevin Taylor and I've been working with Hood County commissioners, our commissioners down the road here, and the development committee over here in Hood County. What we're trying to do is we're trying to get a reasonable idea of water usage and things like this. Sailfish approached our county down in there in Somerville County.
The annexation of this property, please.
Okay, yes, sir.
Yeah.
Yes, sir. All right. My recommendation on this is to be very careful on this, because the water usage that you are committed to is for the citizens of this county. It should not be for a major industrial user.
Guys,
This-
excuse me, Mr. Paulson, I'll give you your time back, but please,
Yes,
I
I
have
understand.
a large number here. I encourage
if
your
y'all would
enthusiasm, but
Please, just
Yeah.
hold it. Just
Thank you.
yeah, thank you. I
Go ahead.
appreciate it. And the thing I'm looking after is your kids, your grandkids. I want them to inherit something besides a dry hole. And these power companies use a lot of water, and so do data centers. And,
circle it back around to this property, please.
all right, this property, if it ends up being a data center, is going to use a lot of water. That's the cheapest.
We're just
thing.
annexing.
Okay.
We'll talk about
right.
the usage at
Okay.
the
Okay.
appropriate time.
My suggestion then is if you annex, is to just make sure that it is in the best public interest of your constituents, not a major water user of an industrial utility. Because that is just the wrong direction to go, because we don't have the groundwater capabilities, we don't have the surface water capabilities. You've got all this tourism going on here with the lake and people here. So we need to focus on not money, but people. People, okay? And thank you for your time. I appreciate it.
Thank you for your presentation. Yeah. Okay. So, Ms. Tina Brown, and following Ms. Brown would be Brian J. Glenn.
Good evening. Can you hear me?
Yes.
My name is Tina Brown. I live at 3924 Brushy Road, Granbury, Texas. This annexation piece of property is probably a mile from my house as a crow flies. It really bothers me that you want to annex this property but don't know what you want to do with it. I believe that you should know what you're doing with it before you annex it, because it may not be in best interest of the county or the city or the people who live here. I did a little bit of research on this Knox Ranch. It was always supposed to be a planned master community with homes, ranches, a little bit of commercial property. It was going to fit in that area where all the rest of us live in the county for a reason. In fact, when I was looking through this, the city was going to ask the developer to do all the water and piping and all that kind of stuff before you annexed it. I don't know if that's just the way things were done back then. It was like in 2012. But if you don't, you need to know what the developer's going to do with this before you can make an educated decision on whether or not it will be a good fit in the city of Granbury and the people of Granbury and the people of Hood County. Please, I wish you would just hold off on this and not make a decision yet until you have time to really know what this property is going to be used for. Thank you.
Ms. Brown? Ms. Brown, I appreciate that, and I appreciate the reference that you gave, because the facts will matter here. So if you can leave that with our city secretary before you go, I'd appreciate that. Thank you. The reference to the 2012 thank you. You know, I can deal with facts. Thank you. Mr. Brian Glenn, and following him will be Ms. Laura Crawford. Mr. Glenn?
My name is Brian Glenn. I live at 9170 MacArthur Court. This was supposed to go first, but I guess that's agenda item 8, so I'll start with this. It may sound a little out of context for that reason. Sorry. Texas legislature granted Hood County Commissioner Court specific power, Local Government Code Chapter 231, Subchapter K, Hood County carve-out to regulate unincorporated development. Existing Hood County development rules and regulations, they primarily consider housing development, They're devoid of rules and regulations for industrial use that we're talking about here in this county. I suspect Granbury's ordinances and zoning are also lacking in this area. Hood County Commissioners Court hired legal counsel that advised the court to reform a development commission. The development commission was formed, and the commissioners appointed. The development commission approved the temporary moratorium last week
Mr. Glenn,
to present to the commissioners'
Glenn,
course.
the property in question, please.
I'm getting to it. Right now, it's incorporated, right, or unincorporated. That's what this is related to, the unincorporated of this party. If I can
Go ahead.
finish,
We'll
I
give
have
you-
time. If this moves forward, you'll be subjecting your most vulnerable citizens, children, and elderly constituents to undue respiratory stress. The proximity
Glenn,
to the adjacent
Mr. Glenn, the
assisted living,
annexation-
nursing care, and nearby hospital, churches, and schools is concerning. Zoning should put commercial areas between residential and industrial. I urge you to pause this decision on this annexation, at least until the Commissioners Court has a chance to rule on the Development Commission's moratorium. Leave this land unincorporated and subject to regulations developed to address this kind of industry. If not, you want to approve this, don't give away the farm, please. No abatements for tax, no land should be given away. You will regret giving them water. They need a lot of water. Putting additional stress on already dwindling resource. You will regret the noise and miss the stars.
Okay.
And what will Granbury get out of this?
Thank you, Mr. Glenn. You have more?
I have 9
you have 10
seconds.
seconds.
Thank you.
Thank you. Ms. Crawford? And following Ms. Crawford will be Ms. Carolyn Reeves.
Thank you for allowing me to speak. One word. We can pretend that we don't know what's going in here, but it's very public knowledge that TCEQ has already approved a power plant on this property.
Ms. Crawford, please.
Okay.
Annexation of the property.
Annexation, but I'm just saying
Okay.
it's public record. I am here
that
to
would-
voice my strong opposition to against this annexation. And if this proposed future use that we're pretending we don't know happens, it will significantly risk some very serious health issues. The Lake Granbury Medical Center is a cornerstone of our city's healthcare system. It provides critical care for emergency services and life-saving services. The land being annexed next to it in such close proximity to a hospital could directly affect the health and safety of patients and caregivers. Energy production in any form introduces pollution in the soil, in the air, in the water, and all kinds of accompanied risk. This is particularly concerning when the land in question is so close to a medical center, a nursing home, an assisted living center, and 3 schools. Many patients in these facilities have compromised immune systems, respiratory conditions, and are undergoing treatments. I ask that if you must or do vote to approve the annexation, please do so with the addition of a clause that prohibits the use of the land for energy production. By doing so, you will be safeguarding the health of our community, protecting the medical center, and ensuring that Granbury's future growth is aligned with the values of safety, health, and well-being, and does not threaten Granbury's reputation as the best small town of America.
Thank you, Ms. Crawford. Ms. Reeves, and following Ms. Reeves is Mr. Mark Lowry.
Good evening. My name is Carolyn Reeves. I live off 2013 Neri Road in Granbury. You're annexing over 2,000 acres, pushing into our country property. You're vague on what you're zoning it as. You're not really putting what you're wanting to annex and what is going into. You're not saying if it's residential or commercial, which makes us very suspicious on what really is going in there. You're pushing the city into our country living where we want to be left alone. We're concerned about noise. We're concerned about air pollution. We're concerned about our water and our electricity. We don't want the city within a mile of our properties or 2 miles. We moved to the county for a reason. We want our space. We don't want the city in our backyard. We don't want businesses in our backyard. We don't want data centers in our backyard. Thank you.
Thank you, Ms. Reeves. Mr. Lowry, and following Mr. Lowry will be Shannon Watts. Shannon? Ms. Watts. Mr. Lowry?
Mr. Mayor, City Council, and staff, thank you for allowing us to speak. My name is Mark Lowry, 3712 Lonesome Creek Road in Granbury, Texas. I think we finally found an issue to bring the community, all of the community entire together. Thank you for that. And the attorney commented on a couple things. Annexation 2019. Ladies and gentlemen, they used to be able to do this in the night, in the dark, without you even knowing. So thankful they at least have to have public hearings now. He mentioned cost of growth. As we grow, yeah, they annex some stuff without people. Ask the mayor next to you. He'll answer that. We can talk about it if you like. Anyway, let me get back on track. The cost of growth, if you got more people they bring in, they pay more taxes. I am confident that before a municipality votes on an annexation of a piece of property, they consider the impact it will have on not just for the owner of the property, but for the city and the citizens. What is the benefit versus the negatives of this annexation? What is the long-term objective for this annexation? Once an annexation occurs, there is some likelihood that others will pursue the same course for the same end result. So I ask you, what do you, the city leaders, want Granbury to look like in the next 5 years, 10 years, and beyond? Now we are a tourism destination and families and small farms and living here. Decisions you make today may have an impact on this future. What is the cost to annexation? To the citizens who live in the immediate area and to the cities in Granbury and Hood County. What will be the cost for the next 3 to 5 years regarding construction of a major facility and the 377 project that will be ongoing at the same time? Transparency is key to good leadership. This community is torn over the rumors and speculation over the next phase following annexation. All this lack of communication and transparency breeds confusion, anger, contempt, honestly with a touch of fear. What impacts the city impacts the county and vice versa. There's no magical superhero shield separating the two geographical areas. Tired of hearing it. We in the Hood community share the same air, water, land, and roads. I want this body to consider what they want Granbury to look like for the future generations. If they want Granbury to continue to be a destination place with small ranchers and farmers, I ask this council not to rush into any decision and please be transparent. Our community deserves a transparent government. Thank you.
Thank you, Ms. Wells. Ms. Watts? And behind Ms. Watts is Shauna Whalen. Ms. Watts, you'll need to pull that microphone down.
Got it. Good evening. I'm Dr. Shannon Watts. I live at 7001 Coleman Ranch Road in Tolar, Texas. I'm a board-certified pediatrician, and I've provided care to the children of Granbury for over 24 years. Every day in my office, my goal is to provide the very best care for my patients. In pediatrics, this not only consists of caring for the illnesses, but even more importantly, it consists of educating my families on preventative medicine to maintain a long, healthy life. I'm here to ask you not to annex the property known as Knox Ranch into the city of Granbury. My request is out of concern that this property will be developed as part of the industrialization attempting to invade Hood County. My reason behind this is because the company that has applied for the petition and their previous development history in our county already. While proponents of industrialization want to highlight the economic benefits to our community, the concern in the fact that the environmental, health, and ecological costs are profound and they are irreversible. There is no amount of money worth sacrificing the health of Hood County residents, which includes the children that I care for daily. The impacts, they're not hypothetical. They're well documented in peer-reviewed research and regulatory assessments. Specifically, I want to focus just on the air quality and the presence that we already have multiple gas plants here in this
Dr.
county.
Watts,
Yep.
the circle around to the property. Thank
Okay.
you.
It is because I am concerned that there may be another gas plant that pops up on the annexation of that land. And the fact that there is a study that showed in Environmental Research Communication in 2025 that the hazardous air pollutants from natural gas combustion,
Dr.
including benzene, just a second, that they pose carcinogenic risk, particularly for communities within 1 mile of such facilities.
Dr.
This
Watts.
land that's being annexed is within 1 mile of 4 Granbury schools. 1
Dr.
mile.
Watts,
It's real.
the land. Talk about the land.
It is the
please.
land. The land is in proximity to these schools.
That's good.
And if this land is used improperly, then it will affect these children that are 0.75 miles from this land at the Emma Robertson Preschool, the Bronner Elementary, Granbury High School 0.75 miles away, and Granbury Middle School 1 mile away. This will be a dangerous to their health, as well as the other 3 nursing homes that are there. And once again, y'all can pretend that you don't know what it's for, and you may not, but I'm not sure I believe that. But I just need to point that out, that I don't think there's any reason that you should sacrifice the health of our community for any amount of money, especially the children. I'll stop. Thank you.
Thank you. Ms. Whalen, and following Ms. Whalen is Mr. Tony Callaway. And I'm going to request again, I understand the passion, but we are talking about annexing land, raw land. Yes. Go ahead.
If I could say something, council, audience,
Yeah.
I would like to go on record and state this fact. There has not been one company come to this city council and present any plan for any development on that property other than Moydad Moyetta for the project that was approved in 2012. That's where we're at. You guys are speculating on something this council has not done. And I'd just like to make that very transparent with you. They have not dealt individually with a company, either in this back room or at this dais, in a public meeting, in a closed session, at all. Simple as that.
Excuse me. Excuse me, if you want to speak.
It doesn't
if you want to
matter.
speak,
They
we'll do it.
haven't met it as not a quorum. I'm telling
Mr.
you, they have not had a presentation
Mr.
on
Kaufman,
anything.
Mr. Kaufman, and audience. Ms. Whalen, go right ahead, please, about the annexation. Yeah, there we go.
My name is Shauna Whalen. Can you all hear me? Okay. I live on Baker's Crossing Road, and what I want to know is how does the city of Granbury go from the celebration capital of Texas to a concrete jungle? That's what I want to know. You want to annex this property to do what? Voting for annexation of 2,000 acres to industrialize Hood County? Why as we Hood County citizens, look at this room. We don't want industrialization. Okay? What about Project Patriot? Anybody heard of that? Project Patriot? We know, okay? You are elected by the people of Granbury, and you hold this beautiful community in your hands. Did you sign NDAs? Why wasn't the public made aware of what was going to happen to this property? Was it so you could take it out of Subchapter K?
You know we can't respond, so you keep asking the questions. But
there are major concerns like air, water, and construction traffic issues, not to mention close proximity to schools and our hospital. Citizens' utilities will increase while their property values decrease. Don't listen to what the snake oil salesman tells you. Ask Abilene taxpayers if they have seen increases. They will tell you yes. Remember when the city spent taxpayer dollars to send a few members down south to see how they did things so they could capture the best historic town in Texas and also the celebration capital of Texas? Why are we changing that? That's not what we want. We need you to listen and understand that that's not what we want, okay? This is a historic community. What went wrong? Why the change? Just how much of taxpayer money was spent on making Granbury a historic town? I mean, how much money did we just spend with putting up lighting and stuff like that? I mean, we want Granbury to be a lovely town.
Please get back to the 2,000
Okay, getting
acres.
to that. Now, not only do we lose everything, but we're going to have a big building full of computers and processing equipment. When I say big building, I mean 2.5 times the size of Walmart Supercenter.
Folks,
this is what you want your legacy to be as a city council member. You want generations to come to remember that you sold Granbury out. If you decide to vote for this annexation, then I will be actively working towards your recall.
Thank you. Okay. Mr. Callaway, and I mean, again, if we could talk about the process of annexing property that is dirt at this point in time.
Well, Mr. Mayor and
Mr.
City Council.
Greg Anderson will follow.
My name is Tony Callaway, 4308 Anaconda Court in Granbury, Texas. The score is going to be tonight about 200-1 because I'm going to speak in favor of the annexation. And the reason I'm speaking in favor of the annexation is for a couple reasons. One, a little background. For 40 years, I was an architect and planner for corporate retailers as they expanded around the country. And especially in areas, it could be Flower Mound, could be Frisco, could be McKinney, all of those areas as Dallas expanded. People had, just like these wonderful people here, had real concerns about what was going to happen with that development. And many of them tried to stop it, but unfortunately, when Texas is such a desirable place to be, and we have as many people coming in and businesses want to come in, they basically are going to be here, and they're either going to be in the county or they're going to be in the city. And even though we'd like to fight it and say we don't want it in the city, the fact is if it's in the county, as Jeremy said, there are very few controls on development within the county. And the city gains no benefits for anything within the county. I've been here for 7 years since I retired. And I love this community, and I think it's a great community. But I think what these people are not quite understanding, and I know Jeremy tried to clarify that, is we have a process that in order for a piece of property to be developed in the city, and I must say, as I've talked to some of you, this city has the worst reputation for developers because of how difficult it is to develop anything here in the city of Granbury. And I've said that to some of you. And the reason, and I'll say that because whenever I developed the pickleball facility, it took me 10 months. So I'm complaining about that. But what I'm saying to you is this city does not just do things for the hell of it. They truly do represent you, and there is a very specific process that we go through, planning commission, city council. So all I'm saying is, for a community to be a good, prosperous community, we need balance of uses, mixed use. We have limitations on us. We don't even have a paid fire department here. So there are obviously economic benefits that have to be balanced with the development issues. There's a process. You'll certainly have that opportunity to speak, but I certainly am in favor of the annexation.
Thank you, Mr. Callaway. Mr. Craig Anderson, that's okay. Let's let Mr. Anderson speak, please, and then Mac Bennett will be coming up next. Mr. Anderson?
Yes, thank you, City Manager, Mayor, council members. I'm not much of
You may have to get that closer.
I'm not much of a speaker, but as plenty of people have said here, I like our community. As our chaplain said when he came in here, we're a beautiful community. We respect each other. We've got a wonderful place to live. And we want that to be harmonious. We don't want abrupt changes. Okay, I believe city manager, or is it the mayor? I'm not sure, sir. He says this is all about annexation. This is just one step. The problem is I've been here 25 years. I saw the bypass planning. They were going to go way out. They're going to do a bridge crossing. They didn't do that. People wanted it closer. And now we have infrastructure problems. We're really behind the 8 ball on so many things. Granted, the lawyer says it would be nice to have that tax revenue, but don't sell out the community for a little bit of tax revenue, because you're putting that burden on all of us that live here. There's no way around that. If these data centers or whoever goes in there, and I'm not saying that's going to, okay? You may not have been in those discussions. We don't know because you're under an NDA. Okay, but common sense says there's a financial motive for bringing that property in here. Now, the Scottish Rite individual that donated that, I can tell you, as a brother Mason, as a Scottish Rite member, he did not want industry on that property. It was for rural. It was for a particular intention. Now, big corporations get involved and things change. At the end of the day, whatever you're doing by annexing that property has to be balanced with the taxpayers that are suffering today. It takes me 17 minutes to get 12 stoplights in Granbury during the day. That's terrible. So our infrastructure is suffering, and we want to be a resort. We want to be holistic. We want to be a nice community. We want you guys to be good stewards of what you're doing to our community. Thank you very much.
Thank you, sir. Mr. Mac Bennett, and then Mr. Ken Hackett.
My name is Mac Bennett. I live at 3530 Daniels
You
Court.
lift that mic up just a little, please.
Okay, can you hear me
you.
now?
Good.
All right, Mac Bennett, 3530 Daniels Court. Here to talk about what y'all's plan on doing. I live from where the property line stuff is, probably a quarter of a mile away. I think y'all saying you don't know what's going there, but one of the things about it is there's something that's got. Y'all got to have some kind of clue. Could they put a pig farm there? I know y'all got regulations, stuff like that, but it's just like we've been living there over 17 years, and it was quiet out there and stuff. Of course, then they built the airport. Now I have jets that fly over my house, land and stuff, 24 hours a day. But it seems like, I said, it was always quiet out there on Daniels Court. One of the things that, it seemed like the airport deal. Things happen nobody knows about. It's just like we have jets that take off in the morning and stuff. It rattles the windows. This morning one took off, woke up my grandson. I mean, that's how low they come over the house. But, the dust control and stuff, if you don't have an idea of what's going there, why would you want to allow an annex? I think y'all need to really consider it before you make that decision. I work for the union. I was business manager for the union stuff. I know what happens and stuff when you talk to companies. And one of the things, you got to have an idea of what direction it's going. That's all I got.
Thank you, Mr. Bennett. Mr. Hackett. Following Mr. Hackett will be Mr. Brian Anderson.
Mayor, Council, can you hear me, Clip? I came here with the same notion as most of the people here, is that it's just all about a data center. But I want to change my position here because it is about annexation. And I think your point is well taken with me. I live on 4601 Shaw Road. I will drive by this site every day, coming and going to home. So what happens there is important. But what I do know, things have happened in the county that doesn't sit with any of us, and that is the Bitcoin, and there lies the problem, bad management. And I do believe the city could bring better management to whatever is developed there. So that I stand corrected on why I'm here. Now, Proverbs 1:5 says, and I had it up and it just jumped away from me. It says, a wise man will hear and increase learning, and a man understanding will acquire wise counsel. That's why I'm here, to learn, to hear what is going to happen to this site, and if it's a data center or if it's a 5,000 home development, which was previously approved, and I humility say I was part of that approval. Do you not think 5,000 home is not going to use a ton of water? And very little of it is recyclable. So let's put our better hats on. Let's let the city do what they do better than the county, and let us all show up in the next hearing when a land use plan is really submitted. And I will be here first to demand things that y'all haven't even thought of, and not the experts and not the lawyers, because that's what they're going to come and do, get everything they can from this community. And they need to put back what's been taken in the past. And I don't want to get into those details today, but I'm part of that problem. I'm here to help fix it. Thank you.
Thank you, Mr. Hackett. Mr. Anderson, and following Mr. Anderson will be Mr. Hamlet Piguero.
All right. I'm Brian Anderson. I live at 1105 Kalinko. I'm here to discuss the 2,000 acres plus that we're proposing on annexing. Now, that's a lot of land to be annexed, so we just need to be prepared for how we're going to manage that land. You know, that takes a lot of water, a lot of electricity, whatever is going to go in there. You know, it's going to take some planning, and I hope that we have enough water to do this, because in the past we have had droughts, and our lake goes down, and we really depend on that lake for tourism and property values. So just want to be to look at what we're going to be doing here. So that's about all I have to say about it, and hope, and if we don't like what's going to be going in there, we'll be back, I guess.
Very good. Thank you, sir. Mr. Anderson. Hamlet Piguero, and followed by Jacob Herbold. No, you need to press it so you have the red light. Thank you.
Good evening, Mayor and Council. My name is Hamlet Piguero. I live on 2561 Meadowwood Road. I am a veteran of the United States Navy. I served for 21 years. My family and I decided to move to Texas, specifically Granbury and Hood County, because we wanted a slice of Texas. However little, 5 acres, but it is our slice and we own it. Along with our neighbors, we're all here because we want to respectfully ask that these comments, first of all, be included in the official record. And understand that this is concerning a voluntary annexation and not final approval of any specific development. However, annexation is not a neutral act. It is the legal gateway that enables zoning and utility, okay, and large-scale industrial development, which is something that's part of the scary part of this. Hood County has already experienced a significant increase in data center proposals. People live within a stone's throw away from this property. My property line butts right up to Knox Ranch. While data centers and electric generating facilities are not explicitly listed on tonight's agenda, there are already permit applications associated with major electric generation on this land. Okay? That fact makes the timing of this annexation relevant context to the public record. As an adjacent landowner who will remain in the county, I will experience the impacts of whatever follows annexation without receiving municipal services or representation. I'm not asking the council to debate these issues tonight. I'm asking the annexation not be treated as a procedural formality disconnected from its foreseeable consequences. Thank you, and please include this in the comments of the official record.
Thank you, Mr. Perro. Mr. Herbold, Jacob? Followed by Ms. Rachel Jacobson. There you go.
I'm Jacob Herbold. I live on Meadowwood Road, and I'm concerned about the annexation of this 2,000 acres around our neighborhood. The concern is it being turned into a data center. I've yet to meet anybody who wants to live next to one because of the reported air, light, noise pollution, as well as the water and energy consumption. On our website, city website, it's Where Texas History Lives, the celebration capital of Texas, 4-time winner of Best Historic Small Town in America. So my question is, do data centers fit with our identity as a town? I say no. Do the data centers harm, would the annexation that may lead to a data center harm the environment and people's health? It appears so. So I ask you to do whatever is in your power with this annexation and whatever follows to protect citizens and future generations from the harm that these data centers have shown to cause. And what will your legacy be? This question, how you answer this question is a big part of that. So please don't allow a good thing to be ruined. Thank you.
Thank you, Mr. Herbold. Ms. Jacobson and Ms. Rita Fleischner. Ms. Jacobson.
Hi, my name is Rachel Jacobson, and I live at 3111 San Gabriel Court. And I wanted to say thank you for allowing us this opportunity to speak. I'm here tonight as a mom and a concerned citizen who deeply loves this town. I'm not here to fight. I'm here to be heard, and frankly, many of us would like our voices heard when we feel like we've been intentionally sidelined and silenced in this process. Now, let me be clear, the secrecy surrounding Project Patriot and the proposed annexation of more than 2,000 acres of Hood County land is unacceptable. Residents have been left to rely on rumors and leaks while our elected officials are bound by non-disclosure agreements that prevent honest answers. That alone should concern every person in this room. Transparency is not optional. It is a foundation of public trust, and I have trust issues. When details are hidden until the last minute and votes appear to be predetermined, public comment becomes a checkbox, not participation. That is not how a healthy community is governed. This issue is bigger than just one project. It's the direction that Granbury is headed. We're watching a quiet rural community be pushed towards industrialization without meaningful consent from the people who live here. Massive, well, I can't say that, but what we suspect is going to come is not harmless to neighbors. We've already seen real-world consequences just outside of our city limits. What worries me the most is the precedent being set here in Granbury. If Granbury becomes a place where decisions of this magnitude are behind closed doors, protected by NDAs, what comes next? More annexations? More rush votes? More deals that benefit outside interests while residents are told to trust the process? I'm beginning to feel like you forget that you represent us, the constituents. So tonight, I respectfully but firmly ask the council to slow down, delay the vote, release the full details under the Public Information Act. Environmental impact studies, incentive agreements, energy, water usage projections, health assessments. We need all of that. We deserve it. Hold additional public hearings where experts, landowners, and affected residents can speak openly. Let this decision be made by the community, okay, not just against the community, which is what it feels like. Granbury is not a commodity. It is our home. And it deserves leadership that values transparency, accountability, and long-term stewardship over rushed promises and short-term gains. Thank you for your time, and I sincerely hope that you choose to protect the people who've elected you to run this city.
Thank you for your words. Thank you. Ms. Fleissner? And then Mr. Daniel Piat, and that's the last one that I have, unless there's somebody else out there to let me know. Okay, Ms. Fleissner?
Cool. Good.
Do you have that?
Hello. We've been here since 1993, and we brought our family and moved here. Were you not finished?
You're going to need to get a little closer to the mic, please.
Okay.
Yeah.
We have been here since 1993. We brought our family here to live in the wide open spaces, and we moved from an industrialized area, Chicago, Milwaukee, and we own a trucking company there. And so the children have made their place here and raised their families. We all love it, but we have to go back to work, and then we come back home. And there's nothing like it anywhere. It's so beautiful here. And so we are concerned about the annexation and other things that have gone on, which I won't mention. It's just, and you have heard a lot of concerns and opposition tonight. These people have obviously done a lot of research into this matter of annexing the 2,000 acres plus and strongly oppose it. For that reason and that reason alone, I would encourage you to serve your voting base tonight and vote no, please.
Thank you, Ms. Piat. Appreciate it. Thank you, Ms. Piat. Daniel, thank you, Ms. Fleissner. Daniel Piat, and then I do have one more. Is Daniel Piat here? P-I-A-T-T. Anybody downstairs? Okay. Mr. Foreman, did you say you signed up? Yes, I did. Okay. I'm sure I have it in here somewhere. Go ahead. We'll get Mr. Piat if he comes up. Mr. Foreman?
Hi, I'm Gary Foreman. I live at 3307 Windcrest Drive here in Granbury, Texas. I haven't lived here as long as most of you, but I have lived in my other lives in other cities where annexation took over our areas. San Antonio, you've heard of that place. Naperville, Illinois, and other places where annexation by cities took over clean, open areas. Now we're talking about this property, which is 2,090 acres, and that, according to my math, is 3.266 square miles. That is a lot of space. Now, I'm not going to blame the people who came up here, but they stole my speech for the good part of it, so I'll let you go. But I want to say this. I've been around in my previous lives and professions. I've been around a lot of planners, architects, and so forth. And I have to say, and I'm not pointing at Granbury, but I am pointing at the spirit of this country, and when it comes to tearing up our land and turning it into a heap. And we have, when my wife and I moved here not long ago, 2.5, almost 3 years ago, we were here for the reasons of the uniqueness that Granbury and Hood County presents itself as a unique rural experience. Now that property, and Mayor, I'm going to address that property, is in the heart of Granbury, coming on the west side. And it is flanked by very important sensitive areas. Here's what I'm going to suggest, and it's already been brought up to all of you. Too much is happening to this area, and we understand why. The pressure is on you, and I understand that stress that you face. But please listen to me, because I watch other communities just fall apart because they didn't do one simple thing. And this is different. I'm going to ask all of you to go in a room somewhere and get quiet and turn off everything and go into quiet time and go in here, not out there, in here, and find your answers. You know, what makes Granbury unique is about to go, and not just here, but across our country. We have to understand, regardless of what goes in that space, Mayor and Council, is that technology is rapidly changing. So I would ask you to hold back, do some real planning, and understand the evolution of all the technologies that are embracing cities and towns across this country, and realize the best is yet to come. Don't jump on it now. Thank you.
Thank you, Mr. Foreman. Mr. Jim Bell, I have you wanted to speak on 7-2 as well. Is Mr. Bell still here? There you are. Yeah.
Is this thing on? Okay. Thank you for letting me speak.
Bell.
Please don't forget me on item 8, too. You know, I looked into this proposed annexation, and I found that it's been expected for over 20 years. I didn't know that. And this proposed annexation, over 2,000 acres, I don't know how much of this land is expected to be used for one purpose or another, but I have to tell you, I'm reading this paragraph, and it's a voluntary annexation and everything, but I see nothing in here to indicate what the land's going to be used for. So why is this annexation coming up now? I get the feeling I'm being slipped a Mickey here. If this annexation, if you're going to develop housing areas, daycare centers, restaurants and stuff like that, I wouldn't oppose that. And I get it, you people that live near there, that have rural properties. I happen to live in the city. I feel for you, but what I'm afraid of is the obvious elephant in the room. So, just like everybody else, I've got my fingers crossed. I would really like to see you deliberate further on this. I'd like to see this item come up in a future agenda with an explanation of what you expect this property to be used for.
Thank you, Mr. Bell. Okay, that's the public comments. Ms. Walker, do I have some more over there? Have I been able to lose them in this file? Come on up. For 7.2?
Yes.
Okay, you're Either I've lost, well, I'll take it on me. I've lost the paper, so if you would if you duplicate that before you go, we'd appreciate it.
Okay.
Go ahead.
Please push the button.
Yeah.
No, you turned it off. The little red light should be on.
Okay. My name is Misty Leatherwood. I live at 5005 Piper Drive, and I'd like to speak on the agenda of 7.2. While I do not live in the city limits, I do live in Hood County. Decisions made in this chamber, especially on the matters of water, air quality, and large-scale industrial development, do not stop at the city boundaries. They affect everyone who lives, works, and invests in Hood County. This agenda item involves water that may be sold, possibly to a proposed power plant and data center. Since the city of Granbury draws its water from the Lake Granbury, your constituents have a right to know exactly how much water will be withdrawn from the lake each year to support this possible operation. How many Granbury residents live on shallow canals connected to this lake? What happens to their property values, their docks, and their livelihoods if that lake drops due to excessive water sales? These are not hypothetical concerns. These are real risks borne by real people. Additionally, the public deserves full transparency regarding air quality impacts. Hood County is already flirting with or in the telltale signs of non-attainment. How much additional pollution will this power plant generate, and how
There's no power plant, so
possible annexation that it could include this that will affect health, environment, and even sunsets that make this community so special. Before any vote is taken, the city should release clear, detailed information on, one, the annual water usage for the possible data center or power plant or whatever the annexation could be, studies based on the water usage of this land.
as we spoke earlier,
Independent.
and I'll give you your time, but as we spoke earlier, there's, as Mr. Callaway explained, I thought it was a compliment. We are one of the most difficult cities around to develop through, and we do have a very, very thorough and public program on that. But we're talking about the annexation of the land.
Exactly. So
Okay.
regardless of the annexation, there needs to be studies based on the water usage of what would be proposed for the annexation. Can I finish, sir?
It is about the annexation.
Yes, about the
Okay.
annexation. There will be additional usage of water, and the studies of such should be done and thoroughly evaluated. Additionally, independent third-party environmental studies based on air and water for whatever the annexation should be, the additional annexation of this area. Long-term sustainability for Lake Granbury under this and future demands for this area being added to this area. There will be people here, even if it is housing, sir. I sincerely hope this council has not accepted financial incentives without fully protecting the interests of its constituents. Transparency matters. Public trust matters. Have you
Okay.
considered the cumulative impact, not just
You're-
this one project, but possible other projects as well?
Your time's up. Thank you. Okay. Anybody else? Quickly?
Hi, my name is Joanne. I'm a Somerville County resident. I'm a business owner here in Granbury. I own land here in Granbury. And let's see. With myself counted, that would be 20 to 1 that had the courage to get up here and speak that don't want this annexation. We sit here looking at you all, and some of you can't even look at the crowd. You hear the cheering downstairs. I just ask that you listen to the people. And I can tell you that from Glen Rose to Granbury to Fort Worth to Dallas, there may be people that are not here, but you're under a microscope because they're watching the live stream and there's reporters, and you're under a microscope right
Of
now.
annexation.
About the annexation. I
Okay.
didn't say the word data center, but guess what? We don't want a data center. So we're frustrated because this is what we're getting when we come to city council meetings, to commissioners' court meetings, is we're getting the snickering and the faces and all this. You guys work for us. You represent us. I thought you guys weren't supposed to answer me, but I guess that's changed. So I just, out of the kindness of my heart, we're not mad at you specifically, at individuals. We're frustrated. We want to be protected. You're supposed to protect our health. You're supposed to protect our homes. We're a Christian community. We ask that you pray on this and that you vote no and you defer this until you can give us facts. What is this? How are you voting on something that you don't even know? Let's have some common sense. Listen to the people that are showing up here today. That's all I have to say.
Thank you. Thank you. Okay. Okay, council. Questions? Anybody? I'm going to go ahead and close the public meeting at portion of 7.2. Comments, questions? Council? Okay. Do I hear a motion?
Mayor, I have a comment.
You have a comment. Go ahead.
Well, I heard a lot of comments about the city wanting to annex this land, and the landowner came to the city requesting to be annexed. That's all. It's not the other way around. The city wasn't looking to do this. The landowner came to us requesting to be annexed. And if the land is annexed by the city, we do have a lot of control we can exercise on it that the county can't. And it is a way of protecting the public. That's what our mission is. I mean, a lot of the comments are really nice. A lot of the comments, it's like we're bad guys up here trying to do things that would negatively impact the city. We would never want to do that. Our whole goal is to make the city a better place to live. I've been here since 1981, and it's been a great place to live. It was a tiny little town when we moved here, 3 red lights in the whole town. And it's not that anymore. We're a small city, and we're a growing city. And whatever happens with that land, it's to be developed in a responsible way. That's our job. I mean, I felt like that's why I was elected, was to make wise decisions for the city, and I would never do anything other than that.
Council? Other comments? Questions? Okay. We have 2 options. We can approve the annexation, we can deny the annexation. Do I hear a motion on 7.2 as read earlier? Consider adopting ordinance number 26-02, approving the request of Granbury Reddy Land Partners petition for voluntary annexation of 2,090 acres.
So moved.
Mr. Wadley makes a motion.
Second.
Mr. Overdeer seconds. All in favor say aye. Aye. All opposed say nay. I hear no nays. That passed 6-0.